The numbers match. You check them again. Then again, you pull up the lottery website on your phone and compare digit by digit. Your hands shaking so badly you can barely hold the screen steady. 7, 14, 22, 38, 45. Powerball 11. Every single number on your ticket matches the numbers on the screen. 500 million. You just won 500 million. You bought the ticket on a whim. A gas station off the highway, the jackpot sign blinking above the register. You never play the lottery. You know the odds are ridiculous. 1 in 292 million. Worse than getting struck by lightning twice. But something made you hand over $2 and say, one quick pick. You shoved the ticket in your glove box and forgot about it until this morning when you heard the news that someone in your state had won. Now you're sitting in your car in a grocery store parking lot, staring at a piece of paper worth more money than you'll ever be able to comprehend. Your brain can't process it. The number is too big. It doesn't feel real. You don't tell anyone. Not yet. Some survival instinct kicks in, something that says keep your mouth shut until you figure out what you're dealing with. You drive home in a daze, running 2 stop signs because you can't focus on anything except the ticket burning a hole in your pocket. The first thing you do is Google what to do if you win the lottery. The results are terrifying. Stories of winners who went bankrupt within 5 years. Winners whose family members were kidnapped for ransom. Winners who were murdered by people they trusted. The lottery isn't a blessing, the articles say. It's a curse disguised as a miracle. You learn that you have options. In your state, you can claim the prize anonymously through a trust or LLC. This is critical. The moment your name goes public, your life as you know it ends. Every distant relative, every high school acquaintance, every scammer on the planet will come looking for a piece of your fortune. You need a lawyer. Not the guy who handled your parking ticket. A real lawyer. Someone who specializes in wealth management and trusts and protecting people like you from the avalanche that's about to hit. You spend 3 hours researching firms before you find one that seems legitimate. Old money. Discreet. The kind of place that doesn't advertise because their clients don't need to be found. You also need an accountant, a tax attorney, a financial advisor. You're about to enter a world you know nothing about. A world of trusts and estates and capital gains and asset protection strategies. The wrong move could cost you millions. The right team could protect you from yourself. You make the call, your voice shakes as you explain your situation to the receptionist. She doesn't react. She's probably heard this before. Wealth creates problems that only certain people can solve, and those people cluster in firms like this one. The meeting happens 2 days later in a conference room that probably costs more per square foot than your entire apartment. You slide the ticket across the mahogany table and watch 3 lawyers in suits that cost more than your car examine it like it's an ancient artifact. They confirm it's real. They explain your options. You can take the annuity, 30 payments over 29 years, which would give you the full $500 million, but spread out over decades. Or you can take the lump sum, which after taxes comes out to roughly $180 million in your pocket right now. You take the lump sum. Everyone takes the lump sum. The lawyers set up a trust with an anonymous name. They file the paperwork. 2 weeks later, you walk out of the lottery office with a check made out to a legal entity that can't be traced back to you. $180 million deposited into an account at a private bank you'd never heard of before this month. You check the balance on your phone, and the number stares back at you. Impossible, absurd. You could buy a house every day for a year and barely make a dent. The first purchase is practical. You pay off your debts, student loans, credit cards, the car payment that's been hanging over your head for 3 years. It takes 11 minutes and costs less than 0.5% of your new fortune. Problems that have stressed you out for a decade evaporate with a few clicks. Then you pay off your parents' mortgage, a $240,000 balance that's been hanging over their heads for 20 years, gone with a single wire transfer. They don't know where the money came from. You tell them you had a good year at work, that you've been saving, that you wanted to help. The lie comes easier than you expected. Your mother cries. She calls you her miracle. Your father hugs you for the first time in years, really hugs you. The kind of embrace he used to give when you were small and the world was simple. You feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Like a good son. Like someone who can take care of the people they love. You pay off your sister's student loans next. Then your brother's car. Then the medical bills your aunt has been drowning in since her surgery last year. Each transfer feels like a superpower. You're reaching into their lives and removing weights they've been carrying for years. The money flows out of your account, and problems disappear. But the secret is already starting to weigh on you. You can't tell anyone the truth. Not your parents, not your friends, not the girlfriend you've been dating for 8 months. Every conversation feels like a lie. Every time someone complains about money, about rent, about not being able to afford something, you have to pretend you understand. You have $180 million in the bank, and you're nodding along about the price of groceries. You quit your job. You have to. There's no way to explain why you suddenly don't care about the promotion you've been chasing for 2 years. Every morning you sit at your desk, answering emails about projects that seem cosmically insignificant, counting down the hours until you can leave. Your heart isn't in it anymore. How could it be? You tell them you're taking time off to travel, to figure things out. Your boss is confused but supportive. She offers to hold your position, but you both know you're not coming back. Your coworkers throw a small party in the break room, store-bought cake, and cheap champagne. You eat and make small talk, and think about how none of them will ever have to worry about money again if they'd just bought a ticket at the right gas station on the right day. The randomness of it all makes you dizzy. You clean out your desk. 8 years at this company. A coffee mug. Some photos. A plant that's been dying slowly since 2019. You carry it all to your car and realize this is the last time you'll ever have a boss. The last time anyone can tell you what to do. It should feel liberating. Instead, it feels terrifying. The travel starts immediately. First class to Paris, you turn left when you board the plane instead of right. The seat converts into a bed. A flight attendant brings you champagne before takeoff. You watch movies on a screen the size of a laptop and eat meals served on real plates with real silverware. It's everything you imagine luxury would be. A suite at a hotel where the doormen wear white gloves. The room has a view of the Eiffel Tower and a bathroom bigger than your old apartment. Fresh flowers appear every day. Someone makes your bed while you're at breakfast and leaves chocolates on your pillow. You could get used to this. You eat at restaurants that don't list prices on the menu, because anyone who has to ask can't afford it. The meal is 14 courses and takes 3 hours. Each dish is a tiny work of art on an enormous plate. The bill arrives folded in leather and costs more than your first car. You don't flinch. You just hand over the black card and add a generous tip. You buy a watch that costs more than your old annual salary because the salesman shows it to you and you realize you can just say yes. It's a Patek Philippe, handmade in Switzerland, with a movement so precise it loses less than a second per day. You wear it out of the store and catch yourself checking the time just to feel the weight on your wrist. You can say yes to anything now. A bespoke suit from a tailor in Milan. A weekend in Monaco. A spontaneous helicopter tour of the Alps. Every door that used to be closed is suddenly open. Every experience that used to be out of reach is suddenly available. But something strange happens. The joy fades faster than you expected. The first class seat is comfortable, but it's still just a seat. The hotel suite is beautiful, but you still scroll your phone alone at 2 a.m. The expensive meals are delicious, but you can only eat so much before you're full. Money can buy experiences, but it can't make those experiences mean anything. You come home after 2 months abroad and realize you don't know what to do with yourself. You have no job, no routine, no reason to get out of bed in the morning. Your friends are all at work during the day. Your girlfriend is starting to ask questions about where all the money is coming from. The lies are getting harder to maintain. So you tell her, you sit her down and explain everything. The ticket, the lawyers, the trust, the $180 million that's been growing interest in your account while you pretended to be a normal person. You watch her face cycle through disbelief, shock, excitement, and something else. Something that looks like calculation. The relationship changes immediately. She's not mean about it. She doesn't demand anything. But you can see her looking at you differently now. Every gift you give her carries weight. Every purchase becomes a test. Are you being generous or are you being cheap? Are you sharing your fortune or hoarding it? You start to wonder if she loves you or if she loves what you represent. 3 months later, she's gone. She didn't leave because of the money, she says. She left because you became a different person. Paranoid, suspicious, unable to trust anyone's motives, including hers. Maybe she's right. Maybe the money did change you. Or maybe it just revealed what was always there. You buy a house. Not a mansion, not yet, but a nice place in a good neighborhood with a security system and a fence. You buy cars, plural, because you can. You set up a foundation to give some of the money away because you've read that philanthropy is good for the soul and because the tax benefits are significant. People find out. They always find out. A cousin sees your new house on Instagram and does the math on what a place like that costs. An old friend from high school notices you're not working anymore and wonders how you're paying the bills. A neighbor spots the new cars in your driveway and starts asking questions at the block party. The rumor spread through your network like a virus. He won the lottery. He inherited money from a secret relative. He's involved in something illegal. He got lucky with cryptocurrency. Everyone has a theory. Some of them are closer to the truth than you'd like. Your phone starts ringing more. Messages from people you haven't heard from in years. Hey man, long time no talk, we should catch up. The sudden interest would be flattering if it weren't so transparent. They all want something. A loan, an investment opportunity. A piece of whatever good fortune has clearly come your way. The requests start coming. Emails from strangers with sob stories. Messages from relatives you haven't spoken to in years. Investment opportunities that are definitely not scams. A guy you barely remember from college asks if you can loan him $50,000 to start a business. When you say no, he calls you selfish. He says the money changed you. He's not entirely wrong. You hire security, not because you're in immediate danger, but because the wealth management people say you should. Because the stories about lottery winners and home invasions keep you up at night. You read about a winner in Florida who was murdered by his own sister-in-law. A winner in Georgia whose house was robbed 3 times in 1 year. A winner in Kansas who was poisoned by someone he thought was a friend. Now there's a man in a suit sitting in a car outside your house, watching for threats. There are cameras on every corner of your property feeding to a monitoring service. There's a panic room in your basement that you've never used but paid $80,000 to install. You pay your security team more per year than you used to make your old job. The precautions feel excessive until they don't. Until a stranger shows up at your door asking for money. Until someone follows you home from a restaurant. Until you open your mail and find a letter that describes your daily routine in unsettling detail. Then the cameras feel necessary. Then the panic room feels like a bargain. The paranoia gets worse. Every new person you meet, you wonder what they want from you. Every old friend who reaches out, you question their timing. You start eating at the same restaurants, going to the same places, building a routine that minimizes your exposure to strangers. Your world gets smaller even as your bank account gets bigger. You try dating again. Rich people dating, apps that verify your income, events where everyone is wealthy and theoretically not after your money. But these people have their own problems. Trust fund kids who've never worked a day in their lives. Divorce executives who measure everything in dollars. You don't fit in with them either. There are good moments. You pay for a stranger's cancer treatment anonymously after seeing their GoFundMe post. You fund scholarships for kids who remind you of yourself 10 years ago. First-generation college students with potential and no resources. You donate to food banks and homeless shelters and animal rescues. Each gift triggers a small burst of purpose. A reminder that this money can do more than just make your life comfortable. You buy your parents a vacation home on the coast. A modest place by rich person standards, but a palace compared to anything they've ever owned. When they see the ocean view from the deck, when they realize this is theirs, they cry. Your mother says she never imagined she'd have something this beautiful. Your father says he's proud of you, really proud, and for a moment the money feels worth it. You set up a charitable foundation. Lawyers and accountants help you structure it for maximum impact and tax efficiency. You hire an executive director to run it, someone who knows the nonprofit world who can turn your dollars into actual change. The foundation gives away $5 million in its first year. Schools get new equipment. Community centers get renovated. Families get help they couldn't find anywhere else. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy other people's happiness. And sometimes, on the good days, that's enough. But the loneliness persists. The friends you had before the money feel distant now. They can't relate to your problems, and you can't complain about being rich without sounding like an asshole. The friends you make after the money all want something, even if they won't admit it. You start to understand why billionaires hang out with other billionaires. It's not snobbery, it's survival. 5 years pass. You've given away almost $50 million to various causes. You've spent another $30 million on houses, cars, travel, and lifestyle. You've invested the rest and watched it grow to nearly $300 million, because money makes money when you have enough of it. You're not happy. You're not unhappy either. You're just neutral. The desperation is gone. The fear of not making rent, of getting sick without insurance, of growing old without savings. But something else is gone too. The hunger, the drive, the feeling that your choices matter because resources are scarce. When everything is available, nothing feels special. When you can have anything, you stop wanting things. The lottery didn't solve your problems. It just replaced them with different problems. Problems that no one sympathizes with, because you're rich, and rich people aren't allowed to complain. You think about the person you were before the numbers matched. Stressed, sure. Broke, often. But alive in a way you don't feel anymore. Back then, a good meal was a celebration. A vacation was something you planned for months. A new car was a dream you might achieve someday. Now it's all just available. Tap a button, swipe a card, nothing earned, nothing savored. The ticket that changed your life sits in a safe deposit box at the bank. You look at it sometimes. 7 numbers that separated you from 292 million other people. 7 numbers that gave you everything you thought you wanted and took something you didn't know you had. Would you do it again? Buy that ticket at the gas station, hand over those $2, let fate rearrange your entire existence? You don't know. Some days the answer is yes. You've done good with the money. You've helped people. You've secured your family's future for generations. That matters. But some days the answer is no. Some days you'd give back every penny just to feel normal again. To struggle. To want things. To be part of a world where money is real and scarce and meaningful. You can't go back. That's the thing about winning. Once you've won, you can never lose again. Not really. The safety net is too strong. The fall is too short. You'll spend the rest of your life in the soft prison of unlimited options. Free to do anything. Unable to feel anything. $500 million. The American dream, it's yours now. All of it.